what is telescopic video? Well, telescoping is this general term that describes user experiences where video can either expand or contract. It's really that simple, and we look at it from a user experience standpoint, being designers, not from the technology standpoint of how it's accomplished. For us and for our patents, which is an interesting thing to look at, they cover the way in which it works for people. So seamless contraction is getting rid of material, seamless expansion, adding material. Okay? Seamless contraction, it works by skipping over undesired content that would be non-salient to a particular viewer. And the history of this, looking again at ways to represent media that is pertinent to each individual. So you can have one large body of content that all individuals can see it from their own vantage point. And that's why it was called a relativity controller. And working off the Einsteinian principle that depending on your vantage point, the world looks different. So how can we use the power of computing to make the world look different and look relevant depending on what you care about? So I'd like to show you a prototype that I built in 1992 of the relativity controller. In this, you'll see in the scroll bar, there's some marked areas and some unmarked areas. Here, this has been pre-annotated to say that these dark areas here are what's salient. We're going to play this twice. The first time we're going to play it, we're going to play linearly through it, listening to the non-salient and the salient segments. And then we're going to go back and get rid of the non-salient and just play the salient segments.
Watch what happens when I say a word like S-C. What I say is encoded as formants, which show up as horizontal bands in the parallelogram. For example, the pitch of my voice is encoded as a vertical band. Watch how it changes in this example.
Okay, so now we're going to get rid of all the speaking and just play the vocalizations.
S-C.
Okay, that was 1992, prototype that I wrote in C. We played the whole thing, we skipped over, you saw how the scroll bar itself changed so that the representation showed what content was being displayed at that time. The same principles apply to other media, such as text. And it's really not part of the SeamlessTV Partner Program, but it's interesting to look at how this applies to other forms of media. So we see over here on the right, you've got an entire document, you've got annotations in the scroll bar, and shrink it up all the way to the left, we skip right over the non-salient segments and just show the results, either from annotation or from search results. Okay? I'm going to show you a bunch of videos today that are fun, that bring to light how it's being used today. And I need to give you a legal disclaimer that by showing you these examples, we're not implying any affiliation between MONKEYmedia and these other companies. If you have any questions about that, MONKEYmedia attorneys can answer that for you. Okay, so what we're going to show you next is an example from the DVD of The Abyss from 2000. It's a special edition that on the disc it has versions of both the theatrical version and the director's cut, the special version, which is longer. But there's only one copy of the entire movie on the disc. So we're going to watch how the theatrical version is really a seamless contraction from the director's cut, the full version, okay? So we're going to play this from the beginning, and first we're going to play a bit of the special edition version, and then we'll come back and play the theatrical, okay? And a couple things to look out for. We'll look at the scroll bar, we'll look at the time code, and see how they differ and what's going on. So in the director's edition, it starts out with a quote from Nietzsche, which we'll see does not show up in the theatrical version. When you look long into an abyss, the abyss also looks long into you. So we bring up our scroll bar. We can see here that the movie is 2 hours and 50 minutes long, and the title came up at about 30 seconds. So again, 2 hours and 50 minutes long. We'll come back, and now let's play the theatrical and see what's different. So they decided that general audiences couldn't handle Nietzsche. So it skips over the Nietzsche segment, okay? And we bring up our scroll bar. You can see that the movie is 2 hours and 25 minutes. It's 25 minutes shorter when it skips over all the scenes, and the titles came up at around 20 seconds. Okay, so the scroll bar is different, the movie act's different, it's skipping over. Okay. Same video, one disc, seamless contraction on DVD. Now let's talk about seamless expansion.